Drone 6 over the scene of a partial house collapse here in the city's Logan section. Despite the damage and destruction, a woman escaped unscathed. And she's telling her incredible story to Action News tonight. It is Wednesday night, and the big story on Action News is that dramatic scene along the 4500 block of Broad Street. Authorities are still trying to determine why a house suddenly collapsed there, leaving people displaced tonight and neighbors wondering if their house is next. Action News reporter Caroline Goggin talked to one of the residents who walked away unscathed, and she's live from Northern Liberties with the story. Caroline.
Well, Rick, it really is incredible that no one was hurt during this house collapse earlier today. Several different agencies, including the fire department, responded to the collapse this afternoon. And tonight we know that the woman who lives in that home and her husband, they are in temporary housing as their house remains in ruins. From Drone 6, you can see the extent of the damage. Several floors caved in after this home partially collapsed this afternoon as people were inside.
Heard a crack, came down the steps. The dining room was gone, and the kitchen, and the hallway just fell over.
Antoinette Cheatham says she was in shock as she watched some of the rooms of her home fall like dominoes. The city says the collapse happened on the side load-bearing wall of this home, located on the 4500 block of Broad Street. The ordeal startled neighbors like Aisha Pleasant.
Just heard a big screeching sound, almost like, I guess, a car accident.
Separating Pleasant's home and the one that collapsed is an empty lot, a spot where another home once stood until several years ago.
Collapsed the same way in the back, and then they had to take it down.
We reported another collapse on this block in March of 2021, this one affecting two homes on the corner of Broad Street and Belfield Avenue. Cheatham has lived on this block for years and says she recently noticed issues with her walls.
See a little crack here, you see a little crack there, and then I noticed on the outside of the house, I forget what you call it, but anyway, it started split.
She was in the process of trying to get work done. Now the city plans to hold a demolition bid for her property. As her and her husband figure out next steps, she says she's left with perspective. Thankful she and her friend and her dog were able to get out.
I said, God's on my side, because we were in there and we didn't get hurt.
Now, while Cheatham was able to get out okay, she says that her three cats were inside the home at the time of the collapse. And when I spoke with her this evening, she told me that they were still unaccounted for. We're also told that this collapse has impacted the people who live in the home next door to Cheatham. They are displaced tonight, and all of their utilities have been disconnected. We're live in Northern Liberties. I'm Caroline Goggin, Channel 6 Action News. Rick.
Caroline, thank you. Philadelphia